Hello and welcome back to another ship review. Today we've got the Baltimore. We've got two matches for you to view today. We've got this first one that I completed earlier this morning. Yet again another ranked match, as I'm a fan of ranked, and it does a good job of showcasing the ships better and their actual individual contributions. And then the second one is another ranked match. So go ahead and watch these and kind of talk about the Baltimore and how it is in 2025. So the Baltimore is a Tier 8 American heavy cruiser. It's got 3 triple gun turrets arranged in ABX layout. None of them are 360-degree turrets. The guns are 203 millimeters, I believe, with a 10-second reload. They've got I think it's like a 15.8 kilometer range on them, so pretty decent for Tier 8. The Baltimore, its secondary guns are nothing exciting. We'll look at its armor layout after the second match, but it's a little thin. You can definitely bounce some shells if you're appropriately angled. It does have an above water citadel right in the middle, so you have to be a little careful there. It does not get a heal. It's got 44,550 HP, or at least mine does, with what I'm running on it. Does get 3 base hydros. I'm not quite sure what the range on those are off the top of my head. And then it does get 3 10-kilometer radars. And if you build into them, I think you can get those radars out to like 39 seconds or give or take. I do not on this have the coal radar booster, so I don't have it quite as optimized for the radar as it could be, but so I think our radar will run for about 32 seconds. But starting out here in this match, with the Baltimore, you really want to play close to island cover. You want to use them to kind of block some battleship shots from you. You really can't afford in the ship to be open water gunboating out in the open for very long, unless you're just picking a 1 versus 1 engagement against another, maybe like a light cruiser that's not bothering to angle to you or anything. Someone is in the cap with us, or well, we're not quite in the cap yet, but we're rolling into it. Trying to stop their capture there and just stall it out. Being really careful here. We pop the hydro, and we don't quite spot who else is in the cap with us until we finally get them at 4.7 kilometers. There's that San Diego sitting behind the island. We have our DD here. I think he was laying a smoke for us so that we could kind of follow him, but I don't really know what his ultimate plan with that was, because since we were hydroed, we couldn't go forward. I recommend that he gets back. He chooses not to listen. And yeah, he's already a goner, so we're down a DD already at the start of the match. In most ranked matches, this would just be an instant death sentence for your team, losing your DD. That was a little unfortunate, hitting that rock there. San Diego rolls out broadside to us. Very poor decision on the San Diego. Getting some AP out on him. We do take a lot of return fire from multiple ships. We really need to finish off the San Diego, so he stopped hydroing us. Getting some more good hits, and just barely managed to clip him from above the island, finish him off. We do lose 2/3 of our HP already in that engagement, though. So we're already down quite a bit. But yeah, normally losing your friendly DD this early in the match would be a death sentence. However, as we'll get to see, the enemy DD really, honestly, doesn't really do their team a whole lot of good for the rest of the match. So this was still kind of anyone's match for a while here, at least. They're down a cruiser, we're down a DD, so things are not too bad. We're still trying to stall that cap. I was hoping I could actually cap it, but someone else rolls into the cap with us. It's another, I think it's a battleship that's in the cap with us. We're just trying to get some little extra damage here since we're successfully firing over this island. We can't see that battleship that's in the cap with us, so we just have to rely on our team to kind of help us out with that. We are radared here. It doesn't really matter. Not really anyone can shoot at us. We are backing up a little bit just in case that Massachusetts tries to clip us from above the island, but I'm not too worried here. What I am worried about, though, is that other battleship that's in the cap with us will decide to push forward here, and that he'll just roll out and rush us. For him, that would have for sure been the best play in this scenario. I'm not sure if he could have done that without dying, but about half of our team is just sitting in the A cap over there, so they wouldn't have really been able to help out with anything. We do have a couple of ships kind of off to our left side on our team that would help kind of put some pressure on that Massachusetts. So that's kind of why I'm backing up here, because I was expecting him to try to rush us, but he plays pretty passively. This other Massachusetts that's kind of pushing up, I was also afraid that he'd roll around that island, but he seemed perfectly content. And quite honestly, they've got 2 caps, so they're ticking ahead higher on points. They really don't have any reason to push forward aggressively here. All they need to do is play defensively, and then they're kind of good to go. Both our hydro and radar are on cooldown, but if they just can hold both of these caps, then they'll end up winning on points. No need to waste ships. As you will see throughout the match, our team in the chat is pretty upsetty spaghetti, but we don't really have time to respond to that because we're right in the hot zone here. I am very worried about the enemy DD rolling out from behind the island, like behind us. So I've kind of got that in the back of my mind. I do pop hydro here, hoping to catch him if he gets close enough to the island. That Massachusetts backs up, and we're able to get some broadside hits on him with our 2 or 3 millimeter guns. Definitely can deal a decent amount of damage if you hit it correctly. A little difficult to do here between all these rocks, and then he decides he doesn't really want to sit there and get farmed by us. So decent play on his part. Again, he's just, he's taking it slow. He's not playing too aggressively. At some point I did pop my radar during all of that, mostly because my hydro hadn't caught the DD yet, the enemy DD, and I was really concerned, like I said, that he was going to roll out behind us. And I was hoping that by popping my radar and getting him spotted, that our friendly cruiser that's pushing around the back there might be able to get some shots off on him. Our friendly cruiser is getting pretty low on health. He's taking a lot of heavy fire from 2, if not 3 targets currently, so he's not going to last long out in the open like that, but doing his best. We are down another battleship at some point, so things are just really not looking great for us. We do roll forward into this cap, just trying to help stall on points. I was considering pushing forward aggressively here and trying to finish off that other Massachusetts because I was afraid he was going to get away, but then my team does succeed in pulling off the kill on him, so I'm happy enough with that to just kind of sit here and stall on points. What I really need is for my team to finish off that other ship that's kind of up to the northwest, and then I need them to hurry up and come over and help me here. The Brandenburg's trying to assist as much as he can, but he's just kind of also getting shredded by that Massachusetts. Massachusetts backing up. In a second here, he'll be a good target for our 203s. We do bounce 3 of those shells, but we do get a couple of pens. We can now actually see him, and we can start kind of farming his broadside a bit. Massachusetts has pretty thick armor, so we have to be kind of careful here. His guns do overpen us from pretty much any angle too, so gotta be careful with that. The secondaries are shredding into us. Really our best bet here is to finish him off as quickly as we can. Fortunately, our friendly Brandenburg went down, so we're kind of alone. And, at the end of the day, at this point, this match is a lost cause. The enemy Harbin's rolling through here. I had kind of a choice to make. Do I hit the broadside Harbin as he rolls around this corner and try to get some massive damage on him? I was pretty sure the ship has torps. I'm still not 100% sure, but I end up deciding to try to finish off that Massachusetts, and we do get kind of a last-second cheeky shot off on that Massachusetts and finish him off. So that was unfortunate for him because he was definitely doing the best on his team, and then that's a loss. But this match does a really good job of kind of showcasing, even if you're, against the odds, a good way of just kind of trying to hold down a choke point for your team. We didn't end up pulling off the win there. If we would have succeeded in capping that cap earlier on, I guess it wouldn't have mattered because that one Massachusetts would have just sat in the cap and stalled points and we wouldn't have gotten any. But I think we could have done a pretty good job of holding that cap, at least for our team, for quite a while. In the end, though, it was just, us losing a DD to complete suicide in the beginning didn't help. And then too much of our team was just kind of over at the A cap distracted throughout the match. So not a whole lot that we could do there. The second match, we're going to do... we did good last match, but our team didn't do well. Our team will do much better this match. It's been like a week or so since I had this, so I don't actually remember everything that happens in this match. So it'll be a little bit of a surprise for me. I do remember, though, that we play a pretty good match here. We end up deciding to go towards A cap. This is kind of like a hard decision. Realistically, especially if you have radar, it's decent to go towards C. But if the only DD on our team is not going towards C either, then what's the point of us going there with our radar? Really what we should be doing is following the DD and kind of helping to provide hydro and radar support for him. So that's what we end up doing. Unfortunately, on this map, the A and B cap, you really don't get a whole lot of use out of radar on this one. And unfortunately, I feel like it's kind of a waste of time sending too many ships here, because most of the time you're just not quite able to blitzkrieg through to the other cap side. That little island gap between the two big islands here is kind of a notorious choke point where it's very, very difficult to charge through there without it being a suicide charge. So kind of your best bet if you're here is to try to hold that choke point from the enemy team foolishly pushing forward. And it's normally best if your team can kind of rotate through the middle of this map and start getting some broadside shots from the center around the side. So normally that's what I like to do if I'm playing a battleship. I'll kind of run the inside of the islands over near C cap. I'll support C a little bit, but mostly I'll try to spot the enemy team at B for my team, and then I'll try to get some broadside shots. We do pop the radar there because we were spotted, and we've got 0.1 of stealth radar. So we do know that anytime that we're spotted and we're not firing, that the enemy is within radar range. We try to just get as many shots off on this enemy DD as we can. He wisely chooses not to fire back and goes dark again by pushing out of our radar range. We're not fast enough to chase after him, and our radar expires, so that was good at thwarting the DD away for the time being. Unfortunately, we've got this Talon here who could have caused us some grief if he would have kind of sat there instead of rushing forward, but luckily he's not really paying us much attention. Otherwise, he would have had pretty easy access to our broadside. We try to get some blind shots off on him. This range, it's a little difficult. You do have to lead these shells quite a bit. So we do pick up the cap on the A cap. Enemy cap's B, no big surprise there. C cap is currently contested. A little unclear where the enemy DD is going to want to go. Whether he's going to kind of push towards C cap and support there, or if he's going to kind of cause us some grief and go down the middle and keep us spotted for the team and maybe launch some torps at our broadside. So something to consider here. But it's very clear that the vast majority of the enemy team is at B right now. And now it becomes a kind of guessing game of where are they going to go? Are they going to try to push through this tight choke point here, which, like I said, is rarely ever a good decision? Or are they going to try to kind of push around the island straight in front of us? Or are they going to play defensively? So lots of things to consider. Right now, not really much that we can shoot at other than that Talon. Try to take a couple of pot shots at him. He is perfectly broadside to us, so if we can land the hits, we might actually get some decent salvos like that. And we get 2 Citadel hits for 10,500 damage. He does Beach. We are a little more broadside than we probably should be, but we do bounce some of those shells. Just trying to hurry up and finish him off since he's beached like that perfectly broadside to us. See, we do bounce all of those shells perfectly broadside. We do get one good more citadel on him. Our team's trying to help us finish him off. That was a decent hit on us that he had, but there we go. Get the 4th citadel on him for the kill and the first blood, so that will help our team cap C over there since we just have a lone cruiser. Still not sure where that enemy DD decided to go. Not sure if he's over by C, not sure if he's kind of hanging out in front of us somewhere. We aren't spotted, so we know that he's not too close. I think we popped another radar somewhere in there. Can't remember why. Oh, maybe I was trying to spot the DD or trying to figure out where these enemy ships were going. Either way, we're now down to just 1 radar, 2 hydros. We try to get some shots off on this key here that's pushing kind of at a distance. We do have to be super duper duper careful here. That key could just one-shot us easily if we get spotted since we're perfectly broadside to him. So, you know, doing a little bit of throttle juking here, not currently spotted, but we just need to keep that in the back of our head that we need a quick exit plan if we get spotted so that we don't get one shot. Everyone on the enemy team kind of goes dark here. And then we're just still playing the waiting game, trying to figure out where everyone is. Our team is capping C, so that's good for us. Still, 0 clue where that destroyer is until he gets spotted by our enemy cruiser. So he's over there. We don't have to worry too much about him for a little bit at least. That battleship right in front of us still is causing me some worry. I don't want him to just decide that he's going to go low and full send and push into us. He doesn't know it, but that would probably be his best bet at this point in time, or his best chance. We do pick up a couple more hits on enemy ships over there. I think we try some blind fire here, maybe, not sure. Ooh, we do get spotted. That's not good for us. Immediately, we pop the throttle and start turning. We don't get shot at, luckily. We do land a couple of more good salvos on that enemy ship. Still just super worried that this on-halt's going to decide to roll out around this corner. I end up deciding here that maybe the best call for me is to try to kind of push around and farm this on-halt a bit, especially since our enemy cruiser is spotting him for us. So we have a decent presence here at A. The enemy is trying a couple of different tactics, trying to push really wide. Our DD is kind of helping to prevent that from happening. Enemy cruiser definitely really wants to push up through that little hole in the center. But like I said, it's normally a suicide charge if you do that. So they are holding back for now, which is good for us and good for them. We do find a perfect little spot on this island where we can just sit and farm while that Anhalt's spotted. And this is kind of what you want to do whenever you can with really any cruiser that you can farm with that doesn't do well in open water. You want to find like little cheeky spots on the islands where you can kind of sit there and farm without getting spotted. So that was a good little spot there while it lasted. Still really worried that the enemy cruiser is gonna just decide to push forward here. He's thinking about it, you can tell. He's definitely thinking about it. I'm trying to look with my ASW just to see what he's doing. He's got smoke running. He is spotted by someone, so yeah, not so great, but we are up on caps, so we can afford to play defensively here. There's no reason to push up aggressively. We're winning on points. We're ticking away quicker on points too than the enemy team. Really, there's no reason to risk anything here. I'm just kind of gauging where things are going. The Anhalt, it seems like he's playing pretty defensively here. Probably just considering where their team is at maybe isn't the best call, because again, they need to make a move here since we're winning on caps and kills. So I do push up a little aggressively here. The Anhalt's perfectly broadside. And this is a good opportunity for us to just absolutely smash him for some damage. You know, I'm still kind of reversing here. I don't want to push up completely away from the islands. Anhalt had HE loaded. Wouldn't have really mattered if it was AP because we were well, maybe he could have citadeled us. A little unclear. Anyways, we're just dealing massive damage to this Anhalt that's perfectly broadside to us. I really want to finish him off before he reloads his guns. Anhalt does have a little bit of a slower reload. He hits the double fire on us, and we do our damage control, and we do pop off the heal. Anhalt does have single fire torps, but only, I think, 2 of them on each side, so we don't have to worry about a bunch of torps coming our way. We do have hydro active, so we can tell that's the only torp he fired. It should be very easy to dodge that one, and we succeed. So that was a good little push on our part. Played it, decently cautious. And now here is where I realized would be a good opportunity just to full send and try to finish off this cruiser. But our team succeeds in killing him right before we manage to help out. So that little push that we made along with our team finishing off that cruiser, and it went from the game slightly in our favor, but still definitely able to go either way, to instantly this is a very clear victory on our part. No way that the enemy team's going to be able to pull this one back unless our team does a massive throw here. So this game is pretty much in the bag at this point. We're capping the B cap. Pretty soon we'll have all 3 caps. The enemy Tirpitz is trying to, probably sees that this is nearly a lost match and just trying to do like a reckless charge and try to pull it out of the bag. This is probably their best chance of maybe winning here, so I can't blame them, but we're going to just get some free damage on him. So, and we do get the cap. I do realize that enemy key, though, we are spotted by him, so that's a little scary. The key can pretty much citadel us from any angle, regardless of how we position. So there is an island in front of us, and I want to get that between us and the key. We do get double fired again by the Tirpitz, which was a little unfortunate, but we do have damage control, so now it's down to 5-2, so still in the bag, and we're about to win on points. We try to land a couple of blind fire shots over this island here. We do manage to get a couple, but nothing special. I was hoping to get just barely above 100,000 damage here, but it's not going to happen, so that's a win for us. We win on points here in a second. 94,000 damage, 2 kills, 5 citadels, got a solo cap, so that was a pretty well played match both on us and our team. So that is the Baltimore for you. We'll go ahead and in a second here go ahead and look at port, look at the armor layout and captain build I'm running on him. I do not, for the Baltimore, have a fully leveled up captain, just because I don't have a whole lot of perfect 21-point captains, but I think I've got like a 11 or 12-point captain on him. If you do have the Wichita, I believe it is, the Wichita is nearly identical to the Baltimore, nearly identical. Copy and paste the Baltimore. The only difference is that your radar is 9 kilometers instead of 10, and your AP on the Baltimore is actually kind of slow compared to the Wichita. The Wichita gets, I think, like 840 meters per second, and the Baltimore is like 700 and something, so makes it a little easier to hit citadels and hit longer range targets with the AP. But yeah, beautiful ship. This is what we've got going here. We'll go ahead and check out the armor layout here. Really thin, as you can see, most of the ship does have that above water citadel that you gotta watch out for. Pretty much any like 406 battleship and above is going to be able to citadel you from almost any angle, so just got to be really careful. Got those 203 millimeter guns that we were talking about, 10-second reload, secondary guns, nothing too special. Definitely not worth building into. Airstrike is whatever. It's a standard like 7-kilometer airstrike. AA is decent. We're not built into AA by any standard. But you can shoot down a few planes with it. Not nearly as good as the Cleveland, since you don't typically run the DFA skill on the Baltimore, but it can shoot down a few planes at least. This is what we've got going on here. Nothing too exciting at all. And then the captain build, like I said, I only have a 12-point commander, and we're only using 10 of those skill points, so I would definitely recommend kind of going with most of the highlighted builds that it recommends. So I think I'm about to select here kind of what build you should go with. But yeah, that's the Baltimore. Another kind of similar ship if you have it. Oh Lord, what is it called? I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is another kind of Baltimore class type ship. It does get a smoke screen, but then it ends up getting like 20% worse DPM. So, and it doesn't get the radar. So, definitely kind of some big hits. I think it would have been perfectly balanced even if it, just didn't get the radar without getting the 20% DPM debuff. But that's the Rochester. Yeah. So the Rochester is the kind of smoke Baltimore. It's a good ship. I definitely would not recommend it for ranked. You really need that spotting ability. You don't want to rely too much on your team for spotting in ranked. And radar is just such a huge ranked asset. So I definitely don't recommend using the Rochester for ranked if you have it. Even in randoms, it's a little hard if you don't have someone spotting for you. So if you're playing in like a division or something like that, it's pretty good. Right here, I'm just showing off some of the different camos. There's quite a few for the Baltimore. But anyways, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this. Definitely the Baltimore and the Rochester, great ships. Rochester is just the slightly worse premium version of the Baltimore. Honestly, I think the Rochester is like fine to use. That 1 kilometer on the radar does kind of suck, but it is nice to get that extra credit income. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be back with the next video. Catch you guys later.